5 minutes.
Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box.
It's your girl Meesh, and welcome to another episode of the LUV MEESH Podcast. And welcome to another episode of LUV MEESH Podcast. In the background, we are listening to Music and Gene, 1 hour of upbeat background music that is no copyright. Now, all of a sudden, when I start to upload my podcast, there's a little disclaimer from Spotify. I'm like, okay, I already know I'm talking about esoteric stuff. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to come for me, which is why I'm glad that I submitted my podcast for Forbidden Knowledge TV, because that's the home of esoteric knowledge and I won't have to worry about stuff like this. So today is February 13, 2020, Sunday. Grandmaster Dr. Delbert Blair ascended today, so I wanted to give homage to him. No, this is his birthday. He ascended on January 31st, 2016, and I awoke November, so I had just missed him. One of my favorite quotes by him is, "There is no truth until you decide what truth is." I have a link to the Chicago Meta Center, which is my affiliation link. And I also have a link to the YouTube page where a lot of people called in to give their homage to him. So I have a little clip of me giving my homage to Dr. Delbert Blair. I'm sorry, I usually start out by like what I'm doing, what I've been up to. So I had this most amazing dream. I woke up like 6 or 7 and I started texting everybody. Like my cousin, I had a dream about her. My spiritual advisor, mother teacher, my best friend, my sister. I'm just starting to remember my dreams now. I have to start back taking my monatomic goal because I know that's going to take me on another level. But as I'm like remembering my dreams and just following my intuition, it's giving me full-blown messages, which brings me to today's episode. So I just had my yoga mat. I actually started a daily 7, and I want to make a ebook or journal about a daily 7 because that was another message I got. A daily 7 would be to give gratitude, do your meditation. I've been meditating, y'all. I've been a baby at it. I don't really feel like I'm doing it, but I've been giving them I did 30 minutes today. I did 30 minutes the other day. I'll sit out in the sun or just close my eyes and let the sun beam down on me. So I feel like I'm getting better at it. You know, I'm able to sit my ass still. So look, baby steps. That was step 1 for me. Meditation, hydrate. Trying to get as close to 8 glasses of water a day as I can. I actually drink, if you drink just regular water, it's no good. Would you eat plain chicken? No, you have to put seasonings on it. So our water is plain. You're supposed to put minerals in it, not genetically modified minerals, but true minerals. For example, I bought some sea moss. It's not the tastiest drink ever, but I know it's good for my organs, and my organs are happy. My tongue may not be, but my organs are. So I put a spoon in there, I mix it up, and I've been drinking it for about 2 days now. I'm going to try to drink it in the morning and at night. I've been doing my teas, and lemon water. So again, just plain water is not the best. Try to always add something to your water. I also have food grade hydrogen peroxide, and I will put droplets of that in my water as well, just to give my body more oxygen, to purify it. I mean, there's just a lot that they don't tell you, so you have to go out, learn this stuff, and apply it. So hydrate, give yourself affirmations, move your body. I do yoga. I actually, when I did yoga with my lady today, I put her down as my official yoga teacher. I donate to her. She's in the process of offering trainings. I actually want to go through I'm just such a nerd. I want to go through the whole training, whether I open a studio or not. That's just me. That's just, I don't know. That's just the level of learning that I like. And if I decide to make it a business, I can. But I sent her a Cash App just to say thank you. It is on YouTube for free. And I think I shouted her out before, but it's okay. We can do it again today. Let me scroll down and find her name. Her name is Bright and Salted. If you go on YouTube and type in Bright and Salted, you'll find her yoga. And because it's February, she started a Valentine's Day self-love routine. And I did episode 1 yesterday. I did episode 2 today. She's already on 3, but I'm a little behind. And I was so excited about that, just to get my blood going, just to start stretching, focusing on my breath. And I love her affirmations at the end. Watch your thoughts, watch your words, watch your heart. So my spiritual advisor was mentioning how money is energy, how giving offerings and tithes is the greatest form of self-love. And so I have, blessed so many people, and I'm going to continue to do that, because we waste our money on hair and nails and all this unnecessary stuff, Popeye's chicken, and just stuff that's not doing the world any good. I want to start investing my money into spirituality, because these are the people that give their life. They give their gift, they give their energy to raise the conscience of humanity, and I want to be a part of that. So you can find Sharita at Ratchet Oracle on Patreon, Brother Yosef on Patreon. I just signed up for the Metasitter Chicago on Patreon. My cousin Shantae, she has her holistic soap for soaps and oils and candles. I've supported Kamaya with her Mommy and Me. I bought a shirt. I gave it to my sister because my sister's a mom, not a mom yet. And I got her ebook, Bright and Salted. I sent her a Cash App for her yoga. Lorna Wolf, I bought their self-love book. Bittersweet Studios, I've been to several pole classes, and I'm going to start those up again. The massages and Bay Meadows, I'm going to continue to pour into that ministry as they release the stress and tension out of my body. Reiki Healing, Mommy and Me Massage, I'm going to continue to go to her, and Sharita does those as well. Yakid Awaken, he has herbs, he sells bitters. He reminds me of Dr. Sabi. I haven't supported him yet, but he's on my to support list. Dee's Pieces of Love, she has a podcast. I want to start to pay that monthly. Akuwavi, she has an online store as well as a podcast, and I want to start to support her podcast monthly. And also Seven Bomar, he has an online academy that I am super excited to join. So those are the 13 people that Spirit has placed on my heart to just minister, allow them to pour into me and me to pour into them financially. And I'm excited to be able to do that. Okay, so let me get back into the podcast. So I'm going to let you listen to my homage to Dr. Deborah Blair. And let me tell you a little bit about me. Men are so special in my life. The women in my life are phenomenal. They're strong and I love them. But because the women are so strong, I give extra homage to the men, because it takes an extra strong man to stand by a super, super strong woman. Okay. Every man can't do it. But I didn't have my grandfather in my life. And so sometimes when I come across older men, they feel a special gap, a special hole, a special something in my heart. And I know it links back to that. With my ex, it was his dad. On the spiritual community, it was Dr. Deborah Blair. And then every now and then on the phone, I'll get an old man that'll minister to me as a grandfather would do with his grandchild. And I don't know, it's just men, be good to the women in your life, whether they're older than you, on the same age and frequency as you, or younger than you. Because it's something that we give each other energy-wise, that you could search the whole wide world and you can't give it to yourself. It comes from that other party, that yin and yang. But I was so mad when I found out he was gone. It was like, oh my gosh. The closest thing I felt like that was my pastor a long time ago, Bishop Callahan, who passed away, and my heart just broke. It's like the closest thing to a grandfather that I had. And not just any old grandfather. I'm talking about someone that's in the spiritual world. And you can have, and I figured out what it is with me and men. You can have a regular ass man, or you can have a spiritual man. And my dad is a spiritual man. I feel like a lot of guys that I dated were not spiritual. And that's what was missing. It wasn't anything wrong with them. They were doing them and living their best life. But that spiritual piece was missing for me. Okay? I don't know. I just think nobody can keep you in line but God, the higher self. You force yourself to do better, God teaches and molds you, and without that, you just running around here rogue. But when I looked at Dr. Deborah Blair, he was an ordained pastor. He was in the ministry. And he never gave up the faith. He never denounced it. He just said he learned so much more. And he dedicated his life to learn more about it, to share. He had firsthand contact with esoteric beings. And, he received so much lack from the powers that be, whether it's the government or whoever. We all know there's an opposition here, whatever name we want to give it. And it's probably more than one, if we're being honest. But they took out his wife. I'm pretty sure they took out his son. And I'm pretty sure they came for him. But to me, when you lay down your life for this knowledge to help souls that know something is wrong, and they're starving for the truth, which is food. God says the knowledge and truth is the bread of life. So many people around here are starving. I'm not talking about McDonald's refrigerator. I'm talking about knowledge, truth, spirituality. They're spiritually hungry, starving, about to die. Anyways, he gave his life to that, and that reminds me of Jesus. And I also feel like the greatest calling on anyone's life is to go 110% and to go out that same way. If you're going to go out anyway, why not be it for Creator, right? So I just want to give homage to him. I still listen to him to this day. I'm going to pour into the ministry. I see the website's changing a lot. I have an affiliate link, so I want to share it with people. They offer courses now, and you can get certifications and stuff. And I'm just like, yes, even though he left, just like Moses had an Aaron, Dr. Deborah Blair had a second man who is keeping that website going, keeping those YouTubes going. We just had a whole Skype today. It's just yes, whatever industry or business you have, make sure you have that second man ready. That second man in command ready to continue where you left off at. It would be a shame for you to pass or ascend and everything will ascend with you. No, it's supposed to keep living on and on and on for generations to come. And that's how it's supposed to be done. So I'm going to pause, let you guys hear my homage to Dr. Blair, and then I'll come back and we'll continue with the rest of my recos, and we'll get into another one of my favorite podcasts, Self-Worth. I'll be back.
Let us continue on. Who's next here? See,
Love Meesh.
Love Meesh. We have Love Meesh, y'all. Okay. All right.
Hey everybody. My name is Jamisha and I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. And I thank you so very much. I'm doing a video. Tell her I'll be back, okay? I'm sorry, I'm outside. My mom's doing the garden. I remember waking up in November 2016. I was working in corporate America. We're doing our annual HR protocols, and I finished early, and I asked, can I go home? There's nothing else to do. And they were like, no, you have to stay. So I began looking on YouTube, learning all about esoterics. And I remember coming across Dr. Deborah Blair. And I remember saying, getting upset, like, why am I just now waking up? And all of the greats, it just seemed like they were all passing away one by one. And I didn't get an opportunity to meet up or call in on the phone. To many of the teachers that I listened to. But now I'm listening to teachers that were once students of Dr. Deborah Blair. And I'm just so thankful that you've continued his legacy. So blessings to you. I would also like to say, we usually don't get our flowers until we ascend. So as the students, let's continue to create for generations. Let's continue to create so that he can live on for generations to come. We have been handed the baton, and let's just keep the energy flowing, making our teacher proud. I love all the recordings and lectures because Dr. Blair was intelligent but also funny. He gave his life for us. It hurt me what happened to his wife. I was so sad when I learned that this master teacher was gone. Again, right before I woke up. But again, I'm so thankful to all of those who share and keep him alive. He helped me find my crown. Man, woman, and child was my favorite, specifically the woman. And I'm just eternally grateful. Thank you for allowing me to share.
There it is. And thank you for sharing.
And I'm back. That was my homage to Dr. Deborah Blair. So I'm going to move on. After I woke up this morning, I started journaling. I started to write down the different messages that I have. I get my messages from my dream, different keywords that I remember out of my dream. I start to scroll through my emails, which are spiritual, and I pick up tips from them. Y'all know I told y'all about my email list. Go back and listen. I have my daily horoscope. I have my daily and just like random things just start jumping out at me, and I just start listening to the little whispers now. So a movie popped out to me. The movie is on Netflix. It's called To All the Boys I've Loved Before. And I remember starting this book and I just didn't finish it. And the girl was like in love with her sister's boyfriend. I'm like, what? Didn't give it another chance or whatever. Should have, because there's a great message in there. I started watching the movie today. And I just picked up so many messages from it. I literally have a book called Roses and Thorns, which reminds me of that movie. It also reminds me how I started that book was Queen Afua. She had assignments to do. Woman, heal thyself. She had assignments for you to do, to go through the different gates of Mayet to like cleanse your womb, your woman, the woman rites of passage. And that's me just writing down the different things from my womb. That's what started that book. And I just added other pieces like I do because I'm a nerd. And it turned into a book. I did publish it. I was more on the hurt, angry side of things. So I'm glad I didn't. I have a chance to go back and change it, as I've mentioned before. Because just like the movie, it reminds me that there's lessons. Some things hurt us, but that hurt really is just a lesson. And as long as we have the message, whether it was happy or sad, the point is, did you get the message? So I want to rewrite the book and basically say thank you to all the people that I've encountered and just tell them what they taught me and just wish them well on their human existence. Because, that's really what it is about. My sister mentions that, we all play different roles. Sometimes you're going to be the villain. Sometimes you're going to be the good guy. Sometimes you can do bad things when you were supposed to do good things. Sometimes you do good things when, you should have been doing bad things. For example, I can want to go give all my money to homeless people. Okay, well, what good does that be? I still have to pay my bills. I still have to eat. That's not very wise. Or I can just allow anybody to do anything for me. But again, you have to stand up for yourself. You have boundaries, or I can go around here stealing and taking people money and falsely filing taxes for people, and they thinking they're getting all this money. Then the IRS come back and say, no, you had error on your taxes, and I can just delete my numbers, delete my website, and disappear. Like, there's karma that's going to come behind that. So we all have different parts to play. We all have lessons. And as long as we're doing what we're supposed to do, you can't get in trouble for that. So sometimes you may look at people that have done wrong and you can't even, wish ill on them. Because if they were doing what they were supposed to do, their hands are clean. The point is, again, did you get your lesson? So I'm excited to go back and just redo the book. I may keep the book just for myself, but just redo it with my new eyes and send that out in the world with better energy, with better karma, with better all of that. So it's funny that Universe was like, hey, I'm gonna need you to look at to all the boys I've loved. And she actually has 3 of them. I didn't finish all the boys I love today. The Meta Center had a 30-minute meditation today, and I did that. And after I was done with meditation, it was just like, do this podcast. So here I am. So I'll probably finish it tonight if I'm not too tired, or during the week. I'll have that as my... It's so interesting because today is Super Bowl. I could care less about the Super Bowl. I don't care who wins. My mom ended up recording the halftime for me. And 50 Cent was on there. And Eminem, I haven't seen him in forever. And I don't know, just stuff that I used to be so interested in, I don't care for. Like last year, I wanted to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't. It was so much stuff going on. And it's just funny, fast forward now, I could care less about a Super Bowl. And if I was invited to anything, I would say, no, I'm not going. So this is just where my heart, mind, and soul is. I know a lot of people may not understand. But this is like food to me. It's like spiritual food. I'm starving and... this is all I want to eat. So, when you get a chance, Netflix, to all the boys I've ever loved, there's a message in there. Podcast reco, the expanded podcast on iTunes. I'm pretty sure you could type it in YouTube or everywhere. I'm sure it'll come up. She went over human design. My spiritual advisor told me to make a notebook of everything about me. I actually want to publish a guide for people to do tests. I follow Shan Booty, and she has a self-love book where she has all these quizzes that you can learn about yourself, but it's only about self-love. And I want to make a self-love book, but I want it to be more so all about who you are and connecting you to different people, different groups, different websites, different quizzes and stuff as far as in the spiritual community. So I remember going over human design a long time ago. When you first learn this stuff, all of it is like Greek, like human design. What is that? I probably read it and was like, okay, what is this? When I listened to the podcast and I went over it again, it was like it combines everything: chakras, astrology, numerology, your name. And it basically gives you, from so many different religious backgrounds, one picture of yourself spiritually and what it could possibly mean that you were here to do. Now, no matter what anybody says you were called here to do, one thing about it is you have free will. You could decide to do it. You could decide not to do it. Regardless of what you choose, you have to eat the consequences thereof. One thing she mentioned, and I'm a projector. I actually want to read this to you guys. Like, did I write it down? Let me see if I took a picture of the projector. I'm pretty sure I did. I'll take a picture of the projector. Delete that. Projector. Did I not take a picture? Okay. Let me see if I got the website. My mind, y'all. It's like I need to win the lottery to take care of all these earthly bills so that I really could just do this all day, which I will thoroughly enjoy. I'm still looking. All these weird pages is coming up. Okay, here it is, human design. It says, I am the projector. My type is, you put in your name, your date of birth, your month, day, and year, where you were born, and your time. Because remember, they add all the different spirituality things together. And of course, you get to control your destiny, but I could either get to somebody's house on my own and get lost and wait time, or I may want to be smart and use MapQuest. I'm just saying, if somebody has already mapped it out for you and you could pick the fastest time, you may want to use that. That's called wisdom. Okay, so the type is projector, the seer, people who can see a better, more efficient, or upgraded approach to a specific thing and are here to share that with others. What is my motto, y'all? Sharing is caring. I learn and I share. I don't even be mastering the stuff yet, but I'm just like, oh, you need to read it, you need to learn, you need to get your own interpretations out of it, because what I get out of it could be completely different what you get out of it. The point is, I want you to get it, or to at least put it in the back of your mind so you could pull it down later and look into it. It's telling me that I should listen to my instincts, which I'm starting to do. Let's see. Signs that show that you're living your design, success, telltale signs that you're not living your best design, bitterness. My strongest sense is my inner vision. I always see things. Like, I remember I was a manager for credit repair, and I was like, hey, here's a pamphlet for an ebook, write an ebook. Hey, you could do this commercial here. Hey, you could. I just throw out them ideas, and she was hitting them like tennis balls. She was knocking them out the port. So I realized a lot of ideas may not be for me. They may not be for me to build from the ground up. I would have a trillion businesses. Perhaps a lot of these ideas are for others, people in my groups that I can plant to. So I plant with my sisters, I plant with my cousin, whoever is willing to get these seeds, I plant. I've noticed sometimes I scatter seeds and they don't seem to be wanted. I do take offense to that and I back away. You know, it is what it is. And I realize that universe will bring the people to me that are meant to be for me. And the best thing that I could do is just watch my circle so that my energy isn't wasted and my feelings aren't hurt, because I'm super emotional as a Cancer. And still kind of working through that. But it's never ill will. It's always for the life of someone. It's life and death with me always. And I love you to life. But, you know, everybody interprets things differently. Let me see. It says my environments will be places that are creative hubs. What did I say I wanted my job to be? Google, Apple. Like, I'm saying this stuff and I'm knowing this stuff, but not even really knowing. Yes, duh, this is how you are programmed. It's so crazy. Where people can commune. A literal kitchen. I don't know about that, because I don't even be cooking like that. An art studio. I don't really feel like I can draw, or whatever invokes that creativity in you. What invokes creativity in me right now? I really love music. I really love podcasts. I really love books. You could just stick me in a library. I don't know. I really love all things esoteric. So I guess my creativities are going to be in those fields. But there was another guy that I was learning this through, and he had a program, and now she has a program, and you can pay for all the other pages and stuff. However, let me give you a little key. You can spend this money wherever you want, but a lot of this stuff is on YouTube. I'm definitely going to go to YouTube, get what I can get, and if Spirit leads me to do these classes, I will. I don't know. I still feel a way sometimes. I don't know. I feel like, to me, a spirit, when you have a business or whatever, spirit gonna get that money to you. I remember sometimes we used to go to church and he'll be like, oh, the collection plate is a little low. Somebody in here can come write a big check, and somebody will always get up and go write a big check. So God may not be calling me to send the money your way. You don't know what I have going on in my life, but just know that if you really are spiritual, the money is going to come. So I wouldn't be putting that stress on people being spiritual, because I know a stranger could walk up to me and hand me a check. That's just how wild my faith is, that, you know, I don't have to say one prime example. Y'all have heard it time and time again. I never bother my sisters about anything I need, because it's just me. If I have to eat cereal and peanut butter jelly to get through the week, I will. They have babies. They have kids. I will never take food out of their mouth. However, they all will be like, you good? You need money? You need food? Here. I never asked. They didn't come over. They didn't peek my refrigerator. Nothing. They just knew. So that's how my faith is. Like, okay, God knew I was over here. Like, if I have to eat one more bowl of cereal, and boom, they go. Even my best friend, I got groceries. She got 6 kids. I got groceries. So I just know, no matter what, God is going to, all creator source is always going to look out for me, always. And I don't have to beg, plead, ask, nothing. It's going to come from the people that's supposed to come through. Because I know why? Their cup is overflowing. I don't want to take from someone's cup that's low. Overflow is going to come to me. However, let me move on. Let's see. So human design is amazing. Let me move out of this. Reiki healing prayer reco for the podcast will be self-worth boost for those who may not even know it. They are not treating themselves with the utmost worth. And that will be me. Like, I thought I had this thing down packed, but no. I have work to do. So surprising. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. So the music reco for this podcast will be Londrell, You Are Enough. And lo and behold, he talks about self-worth in this song. Now, I used to play a clip, but it looks like Spotify is sending a little disclaimer every time you do a podcast now. So I don't know if they're screening podcasts or stuff. I already had a little disclaimer on there that I'm not making money off of this. But just to avoid them from taking down the whole platform, just click on the link and you can go hear the song. You'll look it on YouTube, Spotify, wherever music is streamed. And his whole discography is amazing. There's affirmations, there's meditations, it's uplifting. It's like poetry meets music, and they had a child. It's just so amazing. All right, so now we can get into the podcast. Y'all ready? Okay, so I go to sleep. I have a dream. I usually don't remember my dreams, but I'm getting better. And this particular dream I had, I was in school. I usually have dreams about school all the time. I'm freaking 34, and I ain't talking about college school. It be seeming like a middle school or high school vibe. Because college is more, the college vibe is different from the middle school, high school vibe. But anyways, me and my cousin were graduating. So me and my cousin were at some school graduation. We had a white professor. He was telling us that in order to manifest, we must use an eruption of magnetism to draw things that we desire in. So it's like an out-in boomerang. The same thing with fishing. You put good treats on the pole, and then when you throw them out, depending on what it is, you pull it in. With ease, or you may need help. For example, with a little fish, you can swoop that right on in, but with a shark, the whole crew may have to help you. So what was coming to me was, congratulations, we graduated. So I sent my cousin a text. I was like, oh my God, we graduated, cousin. And she was like, oh wow, congratulations. She was telling me about her dream, and it's funny how they connected. Her dream connected to mine. And it wasn't a graduation like you finished. It was a graduation like we're going to the next level, because the bigger students were telling us like, congratulations. And, you guys are going to take our place now. And it was just, I don't know. It was just so, it was real. I don't care what nobody say. Dreams are the other lives that we live. And I just can't say this enough. I wish I had more time in the other realms than here. Working 8 hours a day. Like, this cannot be life. This cannot be life. I have so much more fun in my dreams. Like, I hate waking up to come back to this. So when it's time for me to go, don't hesitate. Okay, let me be. I'm ready. But like my dad said, don't rush it. So I'll stay and do what I'm supposed to do. But I'm, some people, they be like, let me go back. I was going to go to the light, but I came back. I'm not going to be one of those ones. I did what I needed to do, start what I needed to start. Everybody going to be in place to do what they need to do. And I'm ready for this next level of existence, because Earth is ghetto. I hope to pass this phase of life with flying colors. I do not want to repeat this phase ever again. Okay, ever. So let me continue. So this reminded me, number one, me and my cousin graduated. Number two, that whole eruption thing with magnetism. means that if I want to manifest anything, the energy has to first come outside of me. And that resonated with me and my feelings and my energy, because I know I emit energy. I feel it the most when I'm mad or angry. It fills up the whole room. When I'm extremely mad, I feel like it vibrates over the whole world. Don't ask me how. That's just how my feelings are. But I need to learn how to transmute that feeling to kind of go out, grab whatever I'm wanting, and suck it back in. So I thought that was interesting. And he was just so surreal. He was like saying it like close to my face, like, you need to emit the eruption to get the It was just so like, okay. Like, really wanted me to get it. I also can relate that on the earthly realm, that I may be able to manifest easy things like, okay, put in the job application, get the job, boom. But I may need help of a community, help of family, friends, help of whoever to manifest the big things. Like starting a business, you may need to get the help of an accountant, get the help of someone to do your webpage, get the help, like all these people come together, and with all of y'all energy, y'all bring forth that manifestation. So Spirit just wants me to know some things I can manifest on my own, and some things I will need to manifest with others, which is interesting because I'm starting to send that energy out to all these different groups, and I'm going to be building these connections, and who knows where they're going to go. So I thought that was interesting. Let's see. I also had another dream that I'm not going to share, but it just meant let go. It's time. And so I'm excited to be clearing that out and welcoming in. It's so interesting because I'm not going to share that dream, but the feelings that I got from it was let it go. And in something else that I'm going to read, it's going to say, and make room to welcome something else in. And I'm like, okay, dreams matching emails and quotes and stuff. Something else came to me as I woke up. So all of them aren't dreams. Sometimes thoughts just come. And I know they aren't my thoughts, because do you think of stuff you already know? No, you don't. You don't really think of stuff that you already know. You may ponder stuff you don't know, because you're searching for an answer and you're waiting for that answer. But to ponder stuff that you do know is like insane. You got a whole car outside, and you're not going to say, how can I get a car? How can I get a car? Like, you're not, because you have a car outside, right? So sometimes when this stuff comes to me, I know it's from my higher self or other things, because if I already know the answer, I went and pondered these things. So anyways, another thing that came to me is that women rule the whole world, basically. It's like the most number one known secret. And they have really just torn woman down so much that she doesn't even know the power that she has. But I feel like time is changing. She's waking up. She's remembering. And woe to the man that stands in her way. So let me continue. Woman knows the secret. They rule every household in the world. It's only an illusion that men thinks he runs it. God made her queen when she was born. So she was already crowned from God. If you crown from God, you need no other crowning, honey. So who is man to take it from her? And man has taken that crown for years. The number one thing that sticks out to me in history from what they've shared, or what isn't hidden, or what I've learned thus far, is when they killed all the witches, it wasn't just them burning the witches to me. The witches had knowledge of herbs, of healing, of medicine. They were midwives. They were doing surgeries and stuff. They were bearing kids. And I really feel like women could have more kids than what we have now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6 is nothing. I really feel like women was having so many kids like bees. I really do. Genetically, we're down to 1 and 2. But that's just what my heart says. But in order for Big Pharma to make its debut, you had to wipe out female, send men to school, give him white coats so that he can run it. When we was already running it from our intuition from God. It wasn't no herbal school. That stuff was handed down from great grandma to granddaughter, and it just kept coming down from God Himself. Y'all going to school reading books and stuff and probably poisoning, killing people, when she got her knowledge and wisdom from Mother Earth, God herself. So, I don't know. When they burnt the witches, it was more than witches to me. And I think they threw the devil on it and eating kids just to tarnish the name even more. Just like they tarnished black people to say, oh, they were no good, they're just Negroes. When Negus, and I want to do a podcast on that, is a royal king. So if you listen to what one person says, it could be completely wrong. Research for your own self and figure out what the truth is. So that name is not tarnished to me. You're just saying it the wrong way out of your ignorance, but I truly know what it means, and put some respect on these people's names because they are crowned, okay, from Creator Himself or herself. But let's see. I was saying, so who is man to take it from her? She gives life. She bears fruit. She prays for the man and gives him knowledge and wisdom, which again comes from her intuition. For God gave her insight and intuition. She rules wherever she is. School, work, home, the world. Never take off your crown. Man is so arrogant, he refuses to bow down. You were born with a crown, but man is given a ring. He's given a ring. You were born with a crown. Then I feel like they twisted it to say that the man will give a woman a ring. A ring is nothing to a crown. Honey, you got to come better than that. I have a whole crown on my head. I feel like they twisted around. What's a ring to a crown? And there will be no he without she. It's S-H-E, not H-E and then she. I will always feel like the Adam and Eve story is wrong. I feel like it was Eve or whatever the name was, and then like a Virgin Mary, she had the son, and then together they just multiplied and da, da, da. There's, to me, if woman has a whole womb that a human comes out of, how can man just have, I don't know, I just feel like that's a lie. They lie so much, and my intuition says that's a lie. Woman has the womb and woman gives birth, and that's the story that I'm sticking with. When I was looking at my daily horoscope, it says a deep worth, dailyom.com. Focus a bit deeper and work on self-worth. Did you catch that? Focus a bit deeper and work on self-worth. Now, this was a whole Libra horoscope, and what stuck out to me was self-worth. So I was a little bit upset. I was like, I have self-worth. What are they talking about? So I went to Pinterest and I typed it in, and self-worth, it says show up for yourself. Always remember you are enough. Don't be afraid to lead. Don't be afraid to stand on your own. Make people earn your trust. Be able to hold your own. Do it for yourself because you want to do it. Stop second guessing yourself. Don't tolerate disrespect. Make your own worth known by not accepting any less than what you truly want. Know what you deserve. Stop allowing toxic cycles to repeat. You are worth more than that. Set high standards and stick to them. I started crying this morning. I was like, this is what you want me to know, Spirit? Is this what you want me to know, Spirit? Are you saying that I don't worth myself? Man, the truth be hurting. So, I was like, okay, let me look into this a little bit more, and I'm going to do a podcast. Now, I'm still looking into this. I always say I'm not a teacher. I'm just a guide. I just share. Give you my cliff notes and let you, do the rest of the studying on your own. You got to take your own test now. So this is my podcast on self-worth. As I mentioned before, the movie that came to mind was To All the Boys I've Ever Loved. Let's see. Something else that came to mind was Help Her, Help Me, play on words, helper. What else was I reading? I think I was reading something else. We are so good at helping our friends and giving them support. Think about what you would say to a friend in a similar situation. Write it down and read it back to yourself. That stuck out to me. everybody always seems to come to me with stories, what's going on, and I can just motherly give advice. I can motherly give wisdom. I have no idea where it comes from because I could be using the same stuff in my life. It just comes out with ease, right? They used to call me like the mother. Like, I guess I was such an old school, the mother. But I guess Spirit was trying to tell me that you look out for everybody else externally and you never take time to worry about you. So if somebody else fell down, you will bandage their knee, but you over here getting hurt left and right and you don't take time to bandage and heal yourself. And that kind of made me cry. I was like, oh my gosh, my inner self is like crying out to me. Like, and now that you're done taking care of everybody else because you care about me, like a whole attitude. And I just felt so bad. And I remember a long time ago, I was going to make like a blog called Sermonette, Preaching to Myself, but it just might help someone else. But now that I've changed course of spirituality, it's this podcast now. It's still the same message. I just dropped Sermonette. Then I put, no one is perfect. We're here to learn, to perfect ourselves. How close are you to perfection from 0 to 100? Did you move in the last 10 years? Get busy. Universe, creator, your ancestors, angels, and deities are rooting for you. And I put gratitude. Another message I got is your ability to self-manifest is down to your self-worth. So again, I'm getting manifestation, I'm getting self-work, and the two of them are like coming together. Like, universe is trying to tell me, like, you want to manifest so bad, it starts here with your self-worth. And that whole exerting the energy like a magnet and letting it come in. So another thing I wrote is my sister brought herself some flowers. I need to buy myself some flowers too and apologize for being so hard on myself. Now, I never felt like I was hard on myself, but it's funny how you just sit back and think and be like, oh my gosh, I am. So I wanted to be married and have a whole family by like 25. That didn't happen. So although I'm still moving forward with life, it's like I still internally have been hard on myself for those things not happening. And when they were completely out of my control, like, I don't know, that's like getting mad at a 3-year-old for not being able to solve a calculus equation. It's just like, it's going to take time for them to build up everything else they need to build up to understand the equation, to be able to, calculate it. So sometimes I'm being hard on myself when it's just not time or I'm not in position. And, I shouldn't be doing that. So I saw this quote that I put on the back of my pillow for my podcast. For my shop, Love Me. And I actually want to go in and order that pillow and put it on the bed, because these dreams are going to come true. Now, I'm going to try to make them come true as fast as possible, because good Lord, we've been taking too long here, but they aren't dead. They're still here. So it goes, dear self, I know you're doing the best you can. I believe in you. Keep going. Love me. And I came up with prices for my store. It's going to be $333, $1333, $2333, and $3333. I feel comfortable with those prices, and we just gonna have to take it from there. Something else that came to me must be from my toddler. It says, after a meltdown, your toddler wants to know, do you still love me even when I have big feelings? Do you still care about me even if I mess up? Do you still like me even if I've lashed out? And so I put self to self, the toddler in me, my inner child. So I put, I still love you even when you're an emotional wreck, because I am. And I put, I still care about you even when you mess up or make bad choices, because as long as I learn from those mess ups, then they aren't really bad, are they? I've learned. I still like you even when you doubt yourself or have feelings of unworthiness. So that was just me telling my inner self, my inner child, my inner toddler, like, yes, I love you, I care about you, and I like you. Like, we in this together, okay? Another thing is root for yourself. Give yourself compliments. Believe in yourself and your dreams, because I'm always rooting for others. I'm always giving others compliments. I'm always believing in others and their dreams. I guess with me being a Libra, life is always telling me to balance. As much as you do for others, do for self. Like, don't forget, make sure they're balanced. And I just keep having unbalanced scales. But I'm getting better. I put self-confidence are your external achievements, but self-worth is internal. The value you hold for yourself, you allow others to extend. So it's not at all about them. It's about you. Know your worth and add text. True worth comes from something deeper than your accomplishments, which I feel like I may have put my worth on my accomplishments, how far I can get in a career, how far I can get with degrees. It's just always been external accomplishments. But the message that I got is one way to strengthen your self-worth is by connecting to the innermost part of yourself in meditation. See, I cannot get away from that, y'all. It reminds us that we are valuable and worthy regardless of our achievements. Your worth comes not from anything we say or do, but from the fact we are a spark of divinity, an extension of God, creator, universe. Deepen your sense of worth by honoring the true source of your worth as a human being. Source being him or her. Example. I mess up and make mistakes. I live to see another day and do better. My worth is not in me, but it is in he that is within me. By treating me worthy, you're treating the God in me worthy. Life is about you, but more deeply, he that is within you. That's what I got out of that. And I'm getting some of these quotes and stuff from either Pinterest quotes or email. You know, when you click on Pinterest, sometimes it's a whole blog. So these are just cliff notes. You know what? I can go put my Pinterest on there. I can link my Pinterest on there so you can see the self-love Pinterest and go take a look at them yourself. But I've done plenty of papers in college, so it's not plagiarizing. I'm just giving you my cliff notes. Okay. What else came to mind is my mom told me about a lady who was married, and often the man that she was married to was wretched. She loved him. She cooked for him. She treated him kindly, even through infidelity. No one understood why she stayed. She eventually moved on and experienced the most beautiful marriage, just as Job from the Bible, when he lost everything and got back double. With what I've just learned, she knew the assignment. It wasn't about him, H-I-M. He wasn't worthy. But she honored his highest self and reaped a harvest of a reward. So when I say it's about you, I mean what you do. And when I say within you, what you do to that which is within everyone. For we would and could not exist without source. So to me, even the most cruelest human being ever, it's a tiny speck of source in there. And the most benevolent being ever, it's a tiny speck of evil in there. That's the whole yin yang, the whole balance. Like, can't have one without the other. So as long as you are honestly feeding and honoring that good, you're doing your part. And I remember when I was looking into the indigenous culture, my Native American side, one of the stories and one of the tales is a grandfather was talking to his grandson about two wolves, one being good, one being bad. And the grandson was like, well, which one lives? And the grandpa was like, the one you feed the most. And to me, we are a yin yang being. Every day you're either feeding your higher self or your lower self. And the one you feed the most is going to rule. It's really just that simple. Let's see. I also got reparent your inner child again. To find healing, you must lovingly bridge the two parts of yourself, your inner child and the adult. We grow up physically, but we still have qualities from the child we once were. With the help of guided meditations and journaling exercises, you can learn to listen and comfort your younger self. So again, this whole message was comforting the little part of me that felt that I wasn't worthy. And that really made me sad because like I'm such a nurturer. I love all kids and stuff. And to know that little me is in here crying, it like literally made me cry. And I felt like that was a little me crying, like, you finally hear me, you finally get it. And I just felt so bad that I just didn't even get it. So again, I'm looking through my emails. I'm on I Am Mantra. And it says, I am approaching challenges as opportunities for my health, growth, and expansion. So again, any opportunities that I face, don't look at them in a negative light. Look at them as opportunities to improve my health, opportunities to expand my growth, and opportunities to make money. Like, hello. I'm just able to interpret things differently. I would usually just read this and read it as is. Now I can read it and get a different meaning out of it, a meaning for others and a meaning for myself. It's just my spiritual advisor was talking about keys and unlocking, and I'm definitely living a new life. Okay, I also got that I'm a spiritual mother and I have spiritual babies. I always felt like a mother inside of me, and although I look around me and I feel like I should be an earthly mother, it's probably spiritual, so I could put my mind at ease there. I went over my moon phase. I started looking at some Pinterest. I looked to see if we were in retrograde. I looked at my time passage. My sun is in Aquarius right now. My moon is in Cancer. I reflected on my grandmother, my mother, and myself. What my grandmother lacked, my mom picked up. What my mom lacked, I picked up. And it's going to continue with my daughter. I actually came up with a name for my daughter, and I want this to be her middle name because it's going to be linking my grandmother from my dad's side, my grandmother from my mom's side, my mom and me together is all of our names. And it's Darlicia. Dar comes from my mom, Darlene. Lee comes from my grandmother, Arlene. Sha comes from me, Jamisha. And Ia comes from my grandmother, Gloria. And I put, your name is of your ancestors. May you never forget the things we overcame was for you. The way was paved for you to go further and make us proud. DNA never dies, and in you we live. So I don't be knowing where this stuff be coming from, but okay, I never would have picked Darlicia, but there we are. Then I had an email from Loner Wolf from Luna and Soul, and their keyword was love. Do you see how all these dots are connecting? Because to me, self-love breaks down into 4 different things, and I'm going to do 4 different podcasts. Your self-worth. I actually wrote them down. Your self-respect, self-care, self-worth, and self-love. And I'm just doing the self-worth one right now. But again, they all are aspects of love. And they were basically saying all the emotions that are ever expressed are through love, whether they are happy or sad. It's just different polarities. Even like murder, you can be so obsessed with someone, and let's say, you can't have them, so you kill them. Like, that's love. It's just on the dark end. You can love someone so much, you give them a ring and you propose to them and marry them. That's on the happier side. So everything ever is love, which is love meesh. Like, I came here and I just told myself, remember the mission, girl. It's love. But it's just so hard because these humans, boy, I tell you. And then I have a journal where I have a journal for my babies and fertility. I have a journal for my shadow work. I have a journal for myself, my self book, my me book. I have a journal where I just started journaling daily. And I also have a journal. This one more. Let's see what the last one is. Oh, about self-love and what I want in a relationship. And so I wrote down some prompts in there, but I'll talk about that when we get to self-love. And And then I wrote down like what I wanted to do for the day. And it seems like I never can complete everything that I want to do for the day. But I started doing my planner, and I just write it in my planner. And even if I don't finish, I just keep writing it each week until I'm able to cross it off. And hopefully by the end of the year, we would have completed the stuff. So I know I read a lot. I want to piece it together. And then I'm going to go over some Pinterest self-love quotes. So this is what I wrote my spiritual advisor, just because like I'm just such a sharer. So I said, I get things in 3. Your message to me was so on point, but I needed more to go deeper. That's just me. I started journaling. So as soon as I woke up, I jot my dreams down. Me and my cousin graduated from spiritual school. Our professor was an old white man telling us that it's a magnetic explosion that draws manifestation to us. Stay with me. Then I opened my email to my horoscope, focus a bit deeper on self-worth, which you confirmed. I say, I love myself. I am worthy. So let me look into this a bit more. I'll go to Pinterest, type in self-worth, all the things, honey. I just start to cry. I made a whole board of self-worth. One blog post has your abilities to self-manifest is down to self-worth. So my focus is on self-worth, self-love, self-care, and self-respect. And it's Lovers Month. Imagine that. What I was reading is I care so much about others. I need to give that same love to myself, and it made me cry. That's what my story is called, Love Me. It starts with me and it ends with me. Then I was telling her, I know I'm a slow learner. Thanks for not giving up on me. It takes me forever to learn things. I don't even be knowing these street names. But just like plants, I'm growing and I'm learning. That's my love language, and that's how spirit talks to me. I spent most of my life earning a master's degree on earth when I should have been mastering myself. So it's like I'm starting all over. So much time wasted, but I still can learn to master the time that I have left. Gratitude. And she was saying, you are doing exactly what you are supposed to do. I'm just a guide. The reading provides you with the keys, and you go and search for the doors that the keys unlock. You are often hard on yourself because your approach is unconventional, but it's you that is actually doing it right, girl. Each clue leads us further down the rabbit hole. As you just discovered, I'm still piecing together some of my messages from last year. It's a journey, boo, and you're doing great. You're right where you're supposed to be. She literally had me crying. Like, you may like or may not like your spiritual teacher, but they're there to teach you. It's not about if you like them or not. Are you getting the message? One thing about Earth, life, this school, whatever, it doesn't really care about our feelings. It's all about these lessons, these keys, these doors. It's like, you're going to be hard-headed. You want this the easy way or the hard way. It's just so interesting, this whole thing called life. But thankfully, all my teachers I adore. And my grandmother has to be the hardest teacher I have. But, you know, we're just learning to love each other just the way we are. We just have, she's from that Black power, strong era. And this Cancer is so sensitive that we just bump heads. I'm like, it's so funny because she used to call me Sour Patch. And she used to say I used to get angry all the time growing up. And I'm like, I'm not angry. It's like, you're pissing me off. You're the one making me mad, which is so funny. So be easy on the kids. They be going through stuff too. Lastly, I just want to go over my Pinterest board, and we are done, honey. And I'm going to continue to work on my self-worth. Because self is saying we need to boost up the worth. And I hear it loud and clear. So, and shout out to Pinterest because I just love them. Your self-respect and self-worth has to be stronger than your feelings. Be the woman who roots for the other woman, tells a stranger her hair looks amazing, encourages other women to believe in themselves and their dreams. Give yourself permission to live a big life. Step into what you are meant to be. Stop playing small. You're meant for great things. Low self-esteem is like driving through life with your handbrake on. After a meltdown, your toddler wants to know, I went over that one. Do you still love me? Do you just care? Do you still like me? Self-worth captions. You're so golden. Tomorrow could be someday you've been waiting for. I put the hot and psychotic. I'm a social vegan. I avoid meat. I'm the reason I smile every day. Find happiness from within. Put yourself first. People ain't shit. Thinking about how high I am. When trust is broken, sorry means nothing. We young, but we stressing like we 40. Find your soul before your soulmate. Ooh, that was a whole message. If I was to give a title to right now, what we in February 34.2, because I'm in the second month. Oh no, I'm not. November, December, January, February. I'm in the fourth month. 34.4. This is what it would be called. Find your soul before your soulmate. Sometimes you gotta chill and vibe alone. Yes, this is where I'm at too. I am who I need to be. Believe in your flyness. My personality isn't for everyone. Remember, you're dope. If you're happy, who honestly cares? New mindset. That's me too. I'm thankful for myself for being there for me. I don't mind because you don't matter. Wish I had someone like me. Just be happy. They hate that. Pretty mind with pretty vibes. Can't be around weak-minded. I love those captions. I am unaffected by the judgment of others. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself. Don't feel bad by outgrowing people who had a chance to grow with you. There isn't a single person on this planet who is entitled to treat you like shit. We sabotage the great things in our lives because deep down, we don't feel worthy of having the great things. So again, it's telling me those feelings. So when that professor was saying the energy has to come within you, that eruption, that magnetism, to me, those are feelings. I have to align my feelings with what I want. I am mine before I'm anyone else's. When you know your worth, no one can make you feel worthless. I believe in myself and my power. Sis, you over here doubting yourself while so many are afraid of your potential. Sometimes the hardest part of the journey is believing you're worth the trip. Sometimes you must forget what you feel and remember what you deserve. Become magnetic by increasing your self-worth. Did that not just summarize everything? One morning she woke up different, done with trying to figure out who was with her, against her walking down the middle because they didn't have the guts to pick a side. She was done with anything that didn't bring her peace. She realized the opinions were a dime a dozen. Validation was for parking, and loyalty wasn't a word but a lifestyle. It was this day that her life changed, and not because of a man or a job, but because she realized that life is way too short to leave the key to your happiness in someone else's pockets. Thought that was beautiful. Reminder, you can be a good person with a kind heart and still tell people to fuck off when needed. Self-worth is so vital to your happiness. If you don't feel good about you, it's hard to feel good about anything. It's not your job to be everything to everyone. To me, that stood out because it's like, okay, well, if you doing all of this for everybody, if you giving other people 100%, make sure you give yourself 110. If we accept being talked to any kind of way, then we are telling ourselves we are not quite worth the best. That was Maya Angelou. All these worth quotes, y'all. I am worthy of good things. I am deserving of happiness. I hold the key to my own success. Love starts with me. If their absence brings you peace, you didn't lose them. That's a whole podcast. I love myself, I accept myself, and I forgive myself. I think forgiveness is like the biggest key for me, and being hard on myself. Like I'm still holding myself on punishment for choices that I made. When I don't think that's how that's supposed to go, you know. Y'all, the music had no stopped. We were enough. Maybe you were too much. Maybe he prefers less and you deserve more. I am worthy. I am deserving of happiness, love, health, and peace. I care about myself. I deserve good in my life. I am worthy of having great relationships. I'm a good person. I am worthy of great success. I am enough. I appreciate myself. I am worthy of love and attention. Self-love, self-respect, self-worth. There is a reason they all start with self. You can't find them in anyone else. I know my worth. I pay dearly for every ounce of it. Okay. Your self-worth does not belong in the hands of other people. I am worthy. If you find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth to someone, you have already forgotten your value. Love yourself. Be clear on how you want to be treated. Know your worth always. She remembered who she was and the game changed. Know your worth and add text. Don't rely on someone else for your happiness and self-worth. Only you can be responsible for that. If you can't love and respect yourself, no one else will be able to make that happen. Accept who you are completely, the good, the bad, and make changes as you see fit. Not because you think someone else wants you to be different. Again, because you see fit. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. You are both good and bad, and messy, and complex, and still worthy of compassion, love, and acceptance. Never apologize for having high standards. People who really want to be in your life will rise up to meet them. Period. Happiness is laying in bed and realizing you broke a toxic cycle. I am not replaceable, and I mean that in the most humblest way. You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Hey, you. Yes, you. Stop being unhappy with yourself. You are perfect. Stop wishing you love like someone else or wishing people liked you as much as they like someone else. Stop trying to get attention from those who hurt you. Stop hating your body, your face, your personality, your quirks. Love them. Without those things, you wouldn't be you. And why would you want to be anyone else? Be confident with who you are. Smile. It'll draw people in. If anyone hates on you because you're happy with yourself, then you stick your middle finger in the air and say, screw it. My happiness will not depend on others anymore. I'm happy because I love who I am. I love my flaws. I love my imperfections. They make me me. And me is pretty amazing. Self-worth. The only one who gets to decide your worth is you. It doesn't come from your bank account or the number of friends you have. It doesn't come from what someone else says you are worth. And it doesn't come from a number on the scale or number of nights you go out. It's called self-worth for a reason. Your worth comes from you. It comes from being yourself and being proud of who you are. It comes from being someone that you can count on and being someone you love. Because when it comes down to it, the numbers will change. But what won't change is who you are deep inside. Beautiful, limitless, wonderful, creative, strong, capable. And that is where your worth comes from. There isn't a single person on this planet who is entitled to treat you like shit. Remember that. Self-worth affirmations. I am worthy. I love who I am becoming every single day. I love my darkness and my light. I love all aspects of myself. My dreams are valid, important, and spectacular. I am completely whole just as I am. I am powerful. I am valuable and important. There is no need for me to change myself for others. People love me the way I am. I am worthy of limitless abundance. I love my physical appearance. I am enough. I am deserving of my desires in alignment with my highest self. The last one, guys, 12 ways to recognize your self-worth. And you know what? I think I went over these. 12 ways? Yep. And I did those already. So I'm just gonna, let me copy it. Have a link of my Pinterest, my self-worth Pinterest, so that you guys can reflect. But that completes today's episode of self-worth. Don't feel bad. I'm just starting a journey too. Your girl thought she had this thing down pat, but absolutely not. My inner self was not happy. So I'm probably not going to do the next ones in order. Y'all know how I be all over the place. I want to review Managing Depression with Mindfulness for Dummies, a book that I read. It's some helpful tips in there. I just want to go over the highlights. And I don't know if I'm going to do the rest of the self before that, or if Spirit is going to give me anything else. So just stay tuned. If you were new here, welcome. Thanks for listening. If you were coming back, thank you so much for returning. Hey, love. And I will catch you guys on the next one. My new ending is keep learning, evolving, and spreading love. I hope you do see the fruits of your labor. Namaste, love a stay, always vibe high, babe. And if you can't, that's okay. Just don't wallow. Feel the feels, cry, journal, scream, go to counseling, and then come on back up. Thanks a million for listening. I hope you have a better and a great day. Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, and don't forget to check out Londrell, You Are Enough. I can't do the clip anymore because I feel like they screened my podcast. But it's a great, you're going to love all of his songs. So check it out. And like I said before, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
May the Creator continue to bless you and yours, and I hope it's not the last time that we share thoughts and we share things. And I got to end with one way. I have a poem that is way out. It takes 35 seconds. Please, okay, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. I have people all over the world saying that one. Hope you'll share it with me. And if that helps anybody else, that's what the first order you make from me, we enclose the Universal Creator's Prayer. Thank you so much, Rich, and the Creator continue to bless you.
Thanks a million for listening. There's a million podcasts in the world. You clicked on this one, this one, to hear what I have to say. I hope Universe has a special message for you. You can reach me on Linktree at /love.meesh. I hope you have a better and great day. Love ya. Talk to you later. Bye.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?